bring it all together. I'm letting go for once forever. Following this map under Father sky is open heart. Golden hair is spun into the lightning whisper to the stars. I turn my eyes into windows to wildflowers, white and black holes. The light meeting in my middle, between two worlds the pattern move. A pattern grows into a map. How many times I take this path, woven with the vine, walking the red road alive. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Flash of white and open sky, awareness seeing eye to eye. A quilt holding the silence of 1,000 rays streaming through time. I reach out my hand to feel the four winds that turn the wheel. The light meeting in my middle, between two worlds the pattern move. A pattern grows into a map. How many times I take this path, how many times I peel it back. Still the story stays intact. Free my heart of hearts. Mystery of love, don't go she love. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Be the Maya, 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 be the
Okay, you gonna have to reset. What's going on, everybody? I'm actually going to reset this. See, all my controls are slightly messed up. So if y'all can give me 5 more minutes, let me at 5 more minutes. I'm gonna play this song again. I'm gonna fix these controls, send this link out, and then we'll be ready to talk about the Family Feud. While the 2 or 3 are in here, just let you know we're gonna take this back over 375 million years. So just bear with me for a moment. I'm gonna let the music play, but when I hop back on, we're gonna let the science go ahead and educate us properly. So 5 minutes.
fall together. I'm letting go for once forever. Following this map under father sky is open heart. Golden hair is spun into the lightning whisper to the stars. I turn my eyes into windows to wildflowers, white and black holes. The light meeting in my middle, between two worlds, the pattern move. A pattern grows into a map. How many times I take this path, woven with the vine, walking the red road alive. Jakey, I be the Maya. Jakey, I be the Maya. Jakey, I be the Maya. Flash of light and open sky, awareness seeing eye to eye. A quilt holding the silence of 1,000 rays streaming through time. I reach out my hand to feel the four winds that turn the wheel. The light meeting in my middle, between two worlds, the pattern move. A pattern grows into a map. How many times I take this path, how many times I peel it back. Still the story stays intact. Free my heart of hearts. Mystery of love, don't go she love. Jakey, I be the Maya. Jakey, I be the Maya. Jakey, I be the Maya. Feel my head, feel my head, feel my head. Feel my head, feel my head, feel my
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for tuning in. Oh, how was your day going? You all have a beautiful um, video. This video, along with all of the focused on family, this family issue. I do want to greet you, sister Omi. What's going on? And we got Uncle Pie here. Peace. What's good, Hyoko Nibi?
Yoko, Kone, Maku, what's going on with you, baby? Hey, on
All
me.
is well, huh?
Let's get it in. Let's get it in.
Let's see if
This
she
gonna
did.
be a good. I posted on my page. I said, y'all don't want to miss this. This is good information right here. You know, well, nephew dropped. He'll be back. But yeah, well, there he is. Um, this information is. It's tribal information, and science actually backs it up. And you're not gonna hear nobody talk about that unless you have tribal elders and other people to actually verify what we say. Go ahead, nephew. You there, nephew? What's happening, tall grass? Thank you for joining this morning. You know, he's a Mukula. But yeah, man, this could be a good Saturday build, which every day is a good build. You know.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, nephew.
I'm moving a little wrong. They got me they got me tripping. So I'm good. Hold on. They glitching they glitching my screen and my microphone. Uh Let me try to fix my audio real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on. 2 seconds. It just let's see. Lock this in. We should be back, right? Hold on. All right.
Can you? All right, I'm good. I'm good now.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
All right, perfect. So now that I'm good, you gave a quick breakdown. Peace to the chat. Hey, Shayla. So what I want to talk about is the family feud. And families tend to feud not simply because things happen, but there are things inside the family that create separation, right? So genetically, you may be related to someone, but your spirit can be completely different. And this usually is what happened with the between your maternal and your paternal sides. Now, it causes a form of conflict. What I mean is, you may have someone that you may have no expectations of, but they always seem to come across the lowest, or someone you had low expectations of, and they came across better than what you expected, or even people you don't expect shit from them, they still turn out to eat. They may turn out to be completely different than what you are, even though y'all are genetically the same. But why? This is nature. Now, everybody's seen the post that talked about the cat and the snake. And they say, well, cats come from snakes, or cats come from snakes because of their eyes or their tongue, or they hiss and things like that. But as usually explained, what's not understood is the family feud. So there's someone who has descendancy from this family or snake family on here and is on me. We had a conversation. We related. She was speaking clan wise. That's how I knew I was dealing with those who are the right people. And there are a lot of people who attempt to understand the clan system and they try their best. So I'll assist you with some things. As I said earlier in the week, these modern names that we have for clans are because you are in the modern day or the modern era. But in ancient times, these families they appeared and they were slightly different. So, cat and snake family, I have the notes so you all can see what I'm reading for. I printed all my notes out. So, cat and snake family, it's been explained to me and by me that the original being that we consider the cat today came from the water. Now, this is expressed to the average person. They'll look at, now cats don't come from the water, blah, 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 blah. But they don't know the story. So here are notes. And point one, we have life in water. So any time before 375 million years ago, and we have 4 points. So the earliest vertebrates were jawless fish, which evolved in the ocean. These fish eventually became sharks, rays, and bony fish, which led to the appearance of land animals. Now, there was a great teacher, a master teacher, who stated that the human comes from the dolphin, and people laughed at him. But let's talk about the facts of the matter. It says among bony fish, some develop lobe fins and stronger bones. These were called lobe fin fish. This is what they call them in science. Or it's sarcophagians or sarcophagians. Then you have 75 million years ago, where now fish both had gills and lungs, plus primitive limbs, allowing them to push up into shallow water. Point two, the first land vertebrates or pteropods or tetrapods, excuse me. This is between 375 million years ago and 340 million years ago. So what what has been explained to you in point one is that what you know as the snake today and what you know as the cat today originated from something that was in the water. Now, this being eventually came onto the land and descended from the lobe-finned fish, the early tetrapods, and began moving into the land. Now, they still needed water for laying eggs, as their eggs lacked protection from drying out. Now, they have an example, we have examples of different animals, but it explains that over about 365 million years ago, these animals had strong limbs and now could walk on land, but still relied on water for reproduction. So what is being explained again is, and I'll jump ahead. There was a time that the land animals were doing the same things the turtles do. They would have to go lay their eggs in the sand and pray that those babies make it out. So point three is the evolution of amniotes. Now, this is between 320 to 340 million years ago. Now, some tetrapods evolved a key adaptation, amniotic end. Oh, are y'all there? Can y'all still hear me? Just testing the mic.
Yeah, we still hear you loud and clear.
All right, perfect. So now you have the evolution of amnio. What is the amnio? This is a being that still laid eggs, but the egg had a protective shell, a protective membrane around it. So it says this egg had membranes that kept moisture inside, allowing embryos to develop on land. So they're not having their babies in the water no more. They're having their babies on the land. These freed animals from returning to water to reproduce, unlike amphibians, which still have to birth their children in the water. The first amniotes appeared about, again, 320 to 340 years ago. These early amniotes split into two major groups. One, the synapsids, which led to the mammals, including the cats, and a sauropsids, which led to the reptilians. It's like saru or sauropsids. And they led to reptiles, including the snakes, lizards, dinosaurs, and birds. So it's at this point that when the amniotes split, you now begin to get these different type of families or these different families that resided on the physical land. Now, we are going to point four, which explains the evolutionary path of cats and snakes. So the mammal or the ancestors of the mammals, the synapsids, they were reptile-like but evolved into mammals over millions of years. The Dimetrodon looked like a reptile, but was more related to mammals. Mammals eventually evolved fully by the Jurassic period 225 million years ago. Cats or felids evolved much later, around 25 million years ago. The reptile ancestors, including the snakes, they diversified from many reptilian forms. Some became leptosaurs, which led to lizards and snakes. The ancestors of modern snakes lost their limbs over millions of years, adapting to burrowing or aquatic lifestyles. The first true snakes appeared about 100 million years ago during the Cretaceous period. Cats and snakes both descend from early amniotes that adapted to land. Their ancestors diverged over 300 million years ago, with mammals evolving from the synapsids and reptiles evolving from the sauropsids. Even though they look different today, both lineages started with a common ancestor that left the water and became fully terrestrial. Dagger. Now, is this not our story?
Facts.
See, so when we talk about the water panther or the horned serpent, or we talk about these different beings that existed before we have the mass of land that we have today, before we talk about all these different subclans that we have today, many of us were originally one family. All carnivores come from the same place, which would explain why our ancestors said when the dance came, they started to split. But why? They're completely different today. But yesterday, they had an ancestor that chose to do something different. In the same way, we have mothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, friends that went through a similar evolutionary process, or excuse me, revolutionary process. So you lay your eggs in the water, and somebody, something, or something say, well, I'm going to go onto the land because whatever's going on in this water, it ain't for me no more. So I'm going to go onto the land and live my life on the land, but I have to go still lay my eggs in the water. So what I'm going to do is I have to compensate for that because I don't want to do that no more. So I'm going to lay them on the earth. And then something said, well, damn, we producing a lot of babies, but not many are making it because something is always finding our kids and eating them. So now we have to find another barrier for our children. We're going to put a protective guard around this egg as we lay them. Something is still eating our baby. We're going to keep our babies inside our body. Nobody ever caught that, dude. No one ever peeped that. The mothers of the families were tired of things going on. So they allowed the babies to develop in their own womb, which dolphin means womb. So when the man say, well, the human come from the dolphin, he's explaining to you that man come from the water. He come from the womb. The cosmic egg is inside of a womb. Everything comes from something wet. Hydrogen. Hydro literally means wet. Hydrogen. Hydrogenetics. Wet genetics. Something that starts from moisture and heat. When you have sex, that's moisture and heat. Vibration is moisture and heat. The Big Bang Theory was moisture and heat. But nobody's putting this together on all of these levels and saying, this is what the ancient people were talking about. That which came from something that appears as nothing because we can't see, touch, taste, smell it, but or hear it. But nobody's talking about the sixth sense, which is emotion, energy, emotion, feelings, how I feel about this. I don't know what's going on over there, but I got a feeling. I feel this way that something's going on. I make a call, something's actually going on. That's real soul. That's real soul. It's being connected. So when these beings were having these children, they were connected to their children. Something told them they had to change their lifestyles in order for their babies and their future generations to survive. Now, certain people are losing that capability, so they start putting their babies in incubators. This ain't an egg, ain't shit but ancient technology. Different beings created or hid the eggs or produced the eggs certain ways to make sure that they babies had enough what? Moisture and fucking heat. Hydrogen and helium created the sun, moisture and heat. So the family feud that's genetic started in the beginning. There's something that's pulling you to one side or the other side of something that was originally one and the same. It's interesting. It's the family feud. Well, my mama is Jaguar family, and my daddy is Wolf family. But my mama daddy is Bear family. But Bear family and Jaguar family both belong to the Paw family, but one of them is a dog and one of them is a cat. No wonder this side of the family act like that. Originally, we were the same. But it's a reason you feud with the family. It's all about spirit and soul. It would take one to study these ancient stories and see what all these beings are connected. Who come from what? Who descends from what? Where did they move to? Why is the African lion a direct descendant of the American lion, but isn't closely related to the jaguar, nor the cougar, nor the panther, which descends from the American cougar? This is the family feud. You all have a common ancestor millions of years ago. But today, one can say they look alike or they all have the same classification. This is where we get into the bit cats. Why are they classified the way that they're classified and who's related to who? So the jaguar, the Unca, right? Central America, South America, and small populations in Southwest United States. But if you ask, and I had Sean asked a professor or someone, are jaguars indigenous to the Southeast United States? The person told them no. Like, bro, how in the fuck? When this is where they come from. They migrated out of Florida when people started hunting them as they were hunting the American lion, which didn't really die out until the 1700s. That's a fact. They still had lions in America. They were killing them off during the Yamasee War. Am I lying? Of course not. The cougar or the mountain lion, the ocelot, the rundi or jaguar rundi. Many of these may look alike, but today they're slightly different because of the family feud. Bear and panther or bear and jaguar were literally one family. Bird and wind are technically one family. The division within those families gives you what you need to do, what you're supposed to do in your life. But what usually happens is there are usually people who don't know their place. And they don't know their place because they don't do any fucking work. And they don't know their place because they tend to ignore the things that they see in their family, which makes them them. Your grandpa, your grandma, your auntie act the way she does because it's genetic. You will fight against that because there's something inside of you, whether it's spirit or soul, that causes you to be opposer to the fuck shit they do. Or you may be the one with the shitty spirit and cause the family to not want to be around you. But the family feud goes back hundreds of millions of years. Today, cats and snakes don't like each other. But they're family. And if the cat say, well, one of our oldest names, we would call it the snake. It's one of our names. We move like it still. That's auntie. My mama's sister. We still talk like it. But the difference is the cat didn't lose the limbs like the snake lost the limbs. The difference is, or a similarity is, these aquatic cats like the jaguar and the otter still exist and still go back to their natural place of living, which is the water. So when I made the statement, we have no water families, no one said, don't y'all come from the water? It's because only we know our story and we're here sharing it with you now. So take what we went over today about the cat family and the snake family and equate that to damn near every carnivore. And you'll find out we all got the same fucking grandma. Now, when the Lenape were calling America Snake Island, it's because they were going to war with those families. The snake family and the panther family was whooping that ass. So everybody was considered the snakes or the enemies, those who are against us, talking about them. That's how I would end this conversation dealing with the family feud. I do want to open the stage with questions. If anyone in the comments have any question, and the comments have any questions, please leave the question. Even if you have the answer to the question, if you just want to answer it on here, we'll go ahead and do that for you. So you can't open your mic because somebody did pose a question yesterday. I want you to answer it with your wisdom, and then I'll come by and make sure, you know what I mean, make sure
Okay.
I do, you know. But the question was asked, Shayla asked, what was the difference or the differences between the red sticks and the white sticks?
The difference between the red sticks and the white sticks. The red sticks was revolutionary. The red sticks kept it traditional. The white sticks, they was the ones that actually signed the treaty with Andrew Jackson, and they were trying to be like Andrew Jackson. So when you got people in them talking about that the Indians owned slaves, it was not the Indian nations that owned slaves. It was a particular person within the nation who wanted to be like the Joneses, right? And they took on the concept of the Europeans or the pale face. And to make sure they knew the difference between the red sticks and the white sticks, the white sticks will actually wear a white-tailed deer on their regalia. And that's how they knew who was red stick and who was white stick. The white sticks were basically Christianized. That was the white sticks. You heard me, nephew?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
She
the
probably
white
still
sticks.
in here. I hope that was.
Yeah, the white sticks was Christianized and everything. They was the ones that signed the treaty to go west of the Mississippi to go to Oklahoma. But the red sticks, we stayed and fought, right? Everybody who became known as Negro or the unconquered, we stayed on the eastern coast or the eastern side of the Mississippi. You see?
You were breaking
So,
up. I don't know if you moved around, but you've been breaking up for the last 30 seconds.
oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Can
you're
you,
good
can
and
you
clear. I think you moved or something.
Yeah, that was my phone that had cut in. But yeah, this is why they said that the Seminoles in them were the unconquered because that was the red sticks. But yet you got people in Oklahoma trying to say they was the red sticks. But how you the red sticks when you was pushed out to Oklahoma? You not a red stick, you a white stick.
Mm-hmm. The McIntosh family was white sticks. That's who sold Western Georgia.
Right. And you also had John Ross of the Cherokee. He was also a white stick.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had certain
So
families.
basically,
What wound up happening, you had family members that was actually red sticks, but they wind up becoming white sticks, and then they wind up becoming red sticks again because on one of the family members that went to Oklahoma, he saw that shit wasn't right in Oklahoma. So you know what? He was like, fuck that. We
I'm
going
talking
down
about the
there.
black.
Yeah, they was like, fuck that. We going down to
So let
Texas
me
and
drop
Mexico.
this. We'll put this in the comments. Al, if you want to try, click this link I just dropped. Comment. Come on here, so you can drop some of that good information.
Yeah, you also had the black sticks too. You're absolutely right,
I
cuz.
think popping out again.
Yeah, you also had the
Let's
black
see,
sticks
see if we
too.
can get out here. Or anybody, if you want to join the panel, just click that link that I dropped. Not just dropped. Let's see. So my about the about let me see, having connection issue. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, nephew.
Yeah, I'm back. They been kicking me. I'm back.
Yeah, you also had the black sticks too. You know what I'm saying?
Talk to me.
Yeah. So that's that actually the pure before it was the red, you know, it was actually the black before it was the red. So yeah,
That's the mix of the red and black paint.
right.
Say less. Cause I know I used to mix the red and black paint too. That make a lot of sense. Cause you like you said you had the all black, but wartime where they really mix, they'll mix the red and the black or the red and the white type shit. So they removed the black for their system and divided it into red and white,
Yeah.
which would make sense because we got black in our system too.
And you gotta remember we also had blue paint too. You know what the blue paint
Yeah,
was for.
the blue paint,
And
rainbow warriors.
then that blue paint became significant dealing with the Chita the Chittamaya, you know. Boy, you know what you about to get ready to do? We about to paint your head all blue, homie. Like, oh shit.
What? Sacrifice.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they definitely the Issa definitely came over here and got a lot of blue clay. They got a
yeah,
lot of, and what was so live, they were taught how to make their own.
yeah.
So they were taught how to make their own. Who is this? Reese just joined. Peace. What's good, fam?
It was good. I didn't hear you for a second. You was cutting out. Like you don't have no sound coming through.
Yeah, for some reason I switched phone services, bro. This shit that I got now, shit. So
What's going on, nephew?
What's up, Paul?
Just on this fire bill.
Al, what's good, huh?
You can hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
What's happening, cousin Al?
What's going on, family?
Nothing
Every-
much.
Hey,
Now
Al,
what?
you know,
Yeah,
I did not Paul Haywood too.
yeah.
I did not know that. I just found that out 2 weeks ago.
Uh, are you a Haywood too?
Uh,
You know all Haywoods are related.
I heard that. That's what they say.
Yeah, here in Texas, they be having a Haywood family reunion out there in Bastrop.
Yeah, them boys came. They came out of Virginia and North Carolina.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Mississippi and all that.
Yeah, they moved down until they moved. They started moving over, like after after certain sons, they started moving over, and they were married different indigenous women and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they were more of the they was considered rich because they owned a lot of land. You know,
cause
they start knocking the Haywoods off to take their land.
to get they shit facts. Cause
Yeah,
when they were doing it in Carolina, one of them gave the land to my granddaddy, like my granddaddy, his son, but his mama, fucking, they enrolled on the Lord Cherokee band.
yeah,
His, all their children, excuse me. But I don't know what the relationship, what his mama was doing for the Haywoods, but they tried to give her the land through the son. And bro ended up owning Riley for a good 30, 40, 50 years. Like Riley County belonged to him. Like, yeah.
yeah. We still out there in Bastrop, we still got a lot of land. They took a lot
Mm.
because Smithville, LaGrange, all them different areas we used to own all that. But we still got like it's about over 600 acres, and we keep it locked off, and it's a burial ground on it.
Type shit. That's what George did. Cause the plantation they was on was 900 fucking acres.
Yeah,
Blew my mind. Then bro ended up burying everybody there. He ended up building a lodge, all type of shit. You feel me? But like when I found that Paul was related to Haywood, I'm like, boy, we related twice. Damn, everybody that related twice
but
that I
you know that's how it been though. They was doing that, keeping in the family shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, they like, well, you know how it was back then. If you wasn't from the daddy side, it was good.
Yeah, if you weren't from the daddy side, they felt
Yeah,
like you was
you know, from the mama side, you was good. You know, you was from the daddy side, it was allowed.
yeah, it was
Right.
gravy. Facts. But
Yeah,
that's also that's why a lot of women got taken advantage of by you feel me, by men. Cause a lot of men felt like shit, they ain't my niece. And it's
yeah,
like, oh, what you mean? Like you get what else? Like, bro,
yeah.
what the fuck? Like, yeah, makes sense. Definitely fucking makes sense.
So, you know, I found out my great grandparents was cousins and shit like that, and you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, distant cousins.
Yeah.
Yeah, because L he did the family search on our family and everything, and that's how we found out we was related. You know,
Yeah,
and then they've been on like Donkey Kong ever since. But yeah, yeah, talk about the black stick, cuz.
but you know, the black sticks and the red sticks was together once a time though.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, it was really the black sticks who really broke off and went into Oklahoma and joined the white sticks.
Yeah, that would be John Hoss on John Hoss fraction.
Yeah, and
Hold up. Hold up.
what?
That
Yeah,
that would mean, and this only makes sense. That makes fucking sense. I'll text it to y'all and tell y'all. But that makes fucking sense.
yeah,
and, and,
Because
and, and, and and it became, and then you had some that became known as the Buffalo Soldiers.
yeah,
doing their own people dirt. Uh. All you wanted to say, fuck it. You went and joined those with white daddies. And
Hmm.
y'all had nigga daddies.
But
And
when
you
they saw that shit, when
ones,
they saw how when they saw how that shit went down in Oklahoma, they were like, man, fuck that. We about to go down there to Texas.
yeah, with the yellow,
Mm-hmm.
who are the fucking Muskogee or the Muskogos.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
makes fucking sense. That's the medicine wheel right there.
Uh-huh.
That blew my fucking mind. Just blew my mind. And that's every direction when I'm listening to the migration. That's
Uh-huh.
fuck. That is learn something new every day. Makes sense.
Yep.
That the fucking sense. And it also makes sense as to why a lot of them got fucking Spanish last names. Makes fucking because what make even more sense is when Sekou said there's no difference between the Yamasi and the Creeks. I know exactly which group of Creeks he's talking about, which make more sense.
Now you see how everything come together.
Because the original Creeks were the Itza, and the original migrants were the Itza. Because when they landed, we called them a certain name because we couldn't pronounce. Yeah, she in the room. We couldn't pronounce we couldn't pronounce it the way they originally pronounced it, which was Atikata. So they were called Asri. Asri. But so we called them something completely different. Those were the people that was first called Yamasi and Creek. So it had to be a separation in Oconee for the simple fact that the Oconee are considered Tamukwa, but were the first people to allow the Yama in. This is interesting. I'm thinking about that migration from out
And
west.
that's why, and that's why Sekou kept on purting out. That's why Chief Sekou kept on purting out about what happened when he went to Oklahoma, and he said that the Okuni Yamasi speaking, or what the government document said, you know,
The Hichiti speaking Oconee
uh-huh,
because they didn't originally speak Hichiti.
right,
They spoke Oconee.
mm-hmm,
But like I said, they daddies was Mayan.
mm-hmm. So with the
And when
Chippy, mm-hmm,
and remember when I said that a nigga got so mad at me. Like you get what I'm saying? Oh, you
mm-hmm,
can't find they words in the language. Like fuck all that. You feel me? You don't have to. You motherfuckers was speaking that shit and living that shit when they
mm-hmm,
first came in.
mm-hmm.
Are they not a town that I said originally had maize when the people came up through this bitch? But a nigga wanted to argue with me. This shit makes so much sense.
Uh-huh.
What y'all mamas did back then, what their successors did. They the men they was fucking instead of holding on to the line they were already. That was the issue. And the reason the Temuco women fell in love with the Yama men is because they was gentle and straight. Remember, Temuco men was fucking each other at one point. It
And the
all makes
Spanish and the French.
It all makes sense, man. It all makes sense. Oh my God. Mm. It all makes sense because when the groups of Muskogee started to come over after the Yama, they came over mad at the Yama because the Yama didn't tell them where they were going.
Right.
Just said, we going to see the sun. You motherfuckers came amongst them and said, because y'all ain't tell us, we finna start killing y'all.
Right.
That's who the Timucua ended up unifying with. Crazy shit. This is fucking insane. And it makes sense on why a lot of them went back with them that was sent back home. Because their daddies is over there.
And this is why we had a song saying we not going back to Mexico no more.
Facts. You remember we had that bill. Facts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Facts. Blew my mind. Auntie say, hey, that song had to do with them all removing the Seminoles. Whoa, what do you mean?
That's what that song was talking about.
If you read the history, even John his daddy was a Spanish Indian.
Facts. Fact, that's why they got that last name. What you said, Reese?
I never knew that song was talking about them Seminoles going back to Mexico.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Seen the song one time, and I bet you'd be like, whoa, what the fuck?
I mean, we used to sing that shit all the time as a kid, like on the bus. All the girls used to have all the everybody singing that shit.
Yeah. And Big
See,
got a game for it too. I know the whole I don't want to go to Mexico no more. And then you do you feel me? That what they do the hand shit. You feel me? The clap,
the handshakes.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
hand pats.
yeah, facts. All that shit means something. Shame,
Now,
Because we
shame,
always
shame to the USA.
I seen a video of some Brazilians doing that same type of dance, that same type of hand movement, and that same type of song.
because that's all family.
Bro, them people still trying to figure out how bitches in Brazil that got DNA that'll match every one of us on the phone, but the DNA that it matched, those people never lived in Brazil. So scientists is like, oh, you know the Brazilians and the Gullah? Yeah, they share a matrilineal ancestor. Hold on, what you mean? Yeah, but that woman ain't never been to South America. All right. So how it got down there? Everybody think that people came from South America and populated North America. There ain't nobody talking about the niggas that was going down there populating shit.
Mm-hmm. And that was before the last ice age.
That was before a bitch started coming over here.
Mm-hmm.
So before the First Nations, quote unquote, started coming over here, niggas was already going down to South America doing business. But they try to make the land seem vacant so they could have the claims to it. They could say,
Right.
well, nah, it belonged to them and they sold it to us. Instead of, nah, it really belonged to them and they sold us some shit that was taken from a bitch unrightfully.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why the story is told how it's told.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you heard niggas was putting boats in the water from Louisiana, it's just like shit, fuck it. We gotta catch the right current. We'll be in Costa Rica in 2 days.
Huh, bro? Or less than.
Or less, depending on how many niggas you got on that motherfucker.
Right.
Cause if a nigga go to stroking in that water and he know what he doing, he gonna get you there faster than you thought, baby. I'm telling you, how it happened. That's what happened. 60
Mm-hmm.
niggas on a canoe is fucking insane.
Huh, bro? That's where they get that. That's where they get that saying from. Stroke, 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 stroke.
Here, all your freaky shit, all your freaky terminology come from here. You call a vagina a cat, but if you speak certain languages, cat is hoochie. But then if a bitch just giving away her cat, then she's a hoochie. Nobody putting this simple shit together. But if you walk like this, then you bow-legged. But nobody's thinking about why they call it bow-legged. Pigeon-toed. Think about this shit. Now we talking about outside of the sexual shit. Cornrows. Even little slang like that. That shit come from here. Don't come from down there. But for some reason, they want to tell you everything that was great, and now we're changing. Everything that was great in North America comes from South America, Central America, is what these crackers teach. They have to make the land vacant. So with the black sticks going back to the West where they belong, that shit made so much sense to me. Because that's where they come from.
I figured that too. When I was talking to one of them, he said they Muskogees or Masukis, however they pronounce it nowadays, down in Mexico.
Oh, down in Mexico, yeah, Muskogos. Or Muskogos. Muskogos.
Or basically just call them what it was, the moose pie.
The moose pie. Stay out my head, I wanted to say that. The moose pie.
Yeah, I know. I caught it. You threw it out there. I caught it.
Hey, and that's interesting. This is getting more interesting because they were a group. They were a group that decided to deal with the people that was low key subjugating their people through trade, like basically putting taxes on them. Like, yeah, we ain't gonna deal with you, but we gonna tax y'all ass. Anything come through our land, we gotta get 80% of it. You say fuck it, we gonna go live next to them and defend them. And they lose, and you come to the west with all, you come to the east with all the bullshit, and then you selling the east to the same motherfuckers you lost to. That's some shit. But these aren't Chicasa or the Arikara. This is Koshida, Kowida, Kusa. These is those groups. Like this is interesting. This is because who lived on top of the Aztecs at that time? The fucking Algic speakers, the ancestors to the Lenape. Those who originally came in the land was living on top of the Aztecs.
Mm-hmm.
The Iroquois was living on top of them. All of this is in the West, or those that became the Iroquois, who were the Mingwe, come what it was called. The Mingwe lived in the West with the Lenape and the Muskogee and the Aztecs. And they all had a big ass meeting to invade the East. It's starting to make sense on why the Lenape also called their big chief Montezunga.
And Montezunga sound like Montezuma, don't it?
Because the Wale ended up adopting that term with Kwekuga or Kweshuga. Kweshuga is an original term.
Right.
We ended up adopting that term when the Lenape came to the east and made it to the coast, because you have Carolina Algonquian.
Mm-hmm.
This is making so much fucking sense. This is why everybody starts speaking that. The Yama did their best to unify these people under the original culture. And when that happened, that's when the Miccosukee felt like they could leave, because they left after every fucking body. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because you had two groups. One group known as Miccosukee left. They led the migration. They was in Cahokia. The other group came after, which makes sense. Those that came after is fucking Coweta. Oh my God, makes sense. That's how you say. Oh Lord, this is making sense. I'm about to get off the phone because I'm making too much sense for myself. What the fuck?
And then that's when they wanted to destroy Korea and everything because they know who was there first.
Facts. That's why they said we gonna go to war with everybody. Coweta went to war with everybody. Everybody. When they got to the east, they ass went to war with everybody. They ain't spared nobody, and they set their territory up on all the main blue rivers. They set up in the interior rivers. This is why in their story came from Wale, because they set up on all the blue rivers. This shit is so much fun. The red rivers was held down by boys that never but so we just shut all that shit down. They went to war with the Yama. They went to war with the Westo. They went to war with the Uchi. And when they went to war with the Lenape, this is when they went to the north and became friends with the Lenape. This is what got me what you were reading to me. That's what. Oh Lord, this is interesting. I got something new to talk about. But we got questions. Any questions? Facts, definitely. Reese, you got any questions? Shayla, questions? Anybody in the chat, questions? Tallgrass, talk to me.
I had one question I've been meaning to ask y'all too. So like, what was y'all relationship with Chief Powhatan? Because I know he was one of the Algonquin people over in the Virginia.
I haven't found the direct relation. What I have found, the relations I have found in Virginia are with the ex people call, but
You cutting out.
Then also you got to ask yourself which Powhatan you're talking about because it was more than one. They recreated it.
There was multiple Chief Powhatans.
Yeah, they confederation was recreated.
So which one was the original one?
You have to dig.
And you know they came from South America too.
Yeah. Cause Eagle Plum and all them, they recreated it.
Right, Omi. Omi said, now look, history repeats itself through the blood. Absolutely right. Yep. And that's why you have people them that's trying to get back in because they say they want that dark skin back again. They said they didn't want to look like the Spanish and conquistadors family members.
It'd be crazy when you go look like somebody posted. It was someone that's Catawba. But they like, and he's the like you know I posted the video when they were doing their dance, right? And people are stomping basically. I said there's only one person that's doing it right. I was talking about him because I ended up peeping something about him. And somebody commented and said, "Oh, he looked like he a red skin, like he mixed Indian. He not no real. He not really Aboriginal. He not really indigenous." And I'm sitting there reading that shit like, but his mama indigenous. How the fuck he not indigenous?
Mm-hmm.
What do you now? If you take that person and we go look at their grandparent, I bet you they third or fourth great grandparents darker than me. Broader nose, bigger eyes, big ass lips. But they hot their ass on the internet with the racist bullshit or the colorist bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Only for their sister to be wanting to be with somebody that's darker than them. And that gives the appearance of their grapes or their or Yoko, what's going on? Let's see, we on hour. It ain't really jumping today. It definitely be jumping tomorrow. I'll probably do it later tomorrow. But yeah, we could free bill if we got it. Got a topic. No, he shot down. Do you have any questions? Some answer.
Nobody ain't got no questions.
Nope.
This was a fire ass bill.
Yeah, the opening was lit. And the whole bill,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely touch on that thing.
But you know what, nephew?
Talk to me.
When you got people that say, "Oh, you not this and you not that," if we not who we say we are, how the fuck we know all this information?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, explain that shit.
So what I dropped the book is what is the meaning name Nipetu? Nipetu means jump or to leap. It's the motion of the panther. So the panther is considered Nipetu or the jumper or leaper. Family name.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody see that yet. But
What's going on with you at that?
it's loud in my background. I think my headphones died. Let me see. My headphones out of there. Oh, oh no, we
And then you know what's so funny too, nephew? It's like when we talk about the maze, right? We had the rainbow maze, but then when the Spanish and them got hold to it, they wind up making it GMO.
Facts.
That's where you get that yellow corn from. You
And
know
with the
that
fucking people up even more.
right, right, because that's not an original grain. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And people don't know that.
It was that, and then it was the diet they put people on. They basically were putting people on the strict maize diet. So
Hmm.
people were really eating like cattle, but it's like shit, you're not even supposed to feed that shit to your cattle. If you know you if you really if you gonna eat it, you get what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
but that shit really what deteriorated people is the influx, is having so much. It's like, okay, yeah, it's doing us wrong, it's doing us bad, but shit, it ain't had the the same effects that it had during that mission era. That mission era was crazy.
Right. But you know what's so funny though? By us having dental work and all that there, by putting jewelry in our teeth and everything, and had dental work and stuff, we knew how to combat that shit. And now I saw a little chick on YouTube. She went got um she went got sapphire, ruby, um, all the other jewels on her teeth. Like like she don't have no platinum or nothing. She just got the jewels, you know. And I was like, well,
Hmm.
look at it. She and she from Memphis too. She real cute. And I was like, dang, she went back to the old ways and got that jewel in her teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, it all of that, all of that is definitely culture. But um someone asked me, I'll explain it here. Someone asked me, they was like, um, do the Wale have an origin story for Maeve? And I explained that we don't have an origin story for Maeve, but we have a migration story for Maeve. And this story that was told to us, even as children, can be proven by science. And that science, that anthropology, um, and them the craniologists basically are the ones who confirmed it. So there was a time that the coastal people were going through a famine, and when they were going through that famine, a lot of people died. There were wars going on, so a lot of men died, but a lot of women would die from diseases, having to heal these men or being around their bodies, things like this. So a girl of one town, I'm not going to give the name of the town, but she basically was attempting to leave her town that was burning, and she was starving for days. Listen to what I said. 4 days. While a woman stumbled upon her basically, and the woman appeared grimace, right? It wasn't a woman that you would say was beautiful, that was cute, but this woman had built up skin on her toes or corn on her toes.
Cap.
It was a maze. And in order to provide for the girl, this woman scratched her toes and gave the girl kernels of maize. This the girl ate, and some she planted. When she planted, she celebrated. This explains how the Wale eventually got made. While the crop was there, it wasn't something they were dealing with. But when we were going to war and our fields were being burned and men were being lost and lives were being lost, the Yama were gentle enough, the Yama were timid enough, the Yama were companions, and they said yes to the request that, hey, we would like to have some of that so we can feed our own people. When that happened, the Wale didn't adopt maize as a whole, but specific towns started to adopt maize and celebrate the green corn ceremony, which made them a part of the Tosutaniwano Yadaha, or the Yama Confederation. Those who didn't accept the maize, they had their own thing going. They still had their union, and based off their teeth, you can tell who ate maize and who didn't eat maize, and at what time period the Yama era started for the Wale, or those who were considered Wale by the Spanish, the Yuba'a. So the Yuba'a eventually got the crop, but it wasn't an origin. It's migration. It's something that somebody brought to us. Um, yeah, so I definitely wanted to make sure I got that down for anybody who would have to run that back. Says so. All right, grills. Who started them? Um, I don't know who started them. I think that's just something people did. It's dentistry, right? I know for a fact if you lost a tooth, they would replace the whole tooth with a precious metal or a stone. And a lot of people had all of their teeth taken out and replaced with metal or stone because it was more durable than their actual teeth. So I do know that for a fact, and that's all cultures. That's majority of cultures that I study. Their shamans used to pull their teeth out and replace them with metal and precious stone. Well, precious metal and stones. I don't know who started it, to be honest. I know who elevated it though.
And then another thing, when a woman say the bag broke, it's not the bag that broke, it's the egg that broke.
Talk to me.
Yeah, we were talking about instead of hatching the egg, right? They actually internalize, give birth within the egg. Because with a woman, it's an egg. That's why the baby is shaped in a fetal position because that is the position of the oval shape of an egg.
Facts.
So when they say their water bag broke, it's not their water bag, it's the egg that broke.
Facts. That take us back to the original bill. That was my point, and that's the first point I made. As I say, when you about to come, your mama know you about to come. She gonna alert herself and alert everybody around her by saying, "My water broke." So you already come from the water.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so hard to? Why was it so hard for people to understand that the panther or the cat come from the water too? But they don't really truly understand their story. They're just living life. So they don't understand that when we talk about the water panther, when we talk about the snakes and the frogs, or all these different water beings, nobody's ever thinking like, damn, the body actually takes shape of all of these beings before it becomes an upright being.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same story we just talked about earlier. Beings coming from the water started to walk upright. Few of them lost their limbs. Some of them returned to the water because the dolphin came from the water to the land and went back into the water. But something that's related to that stayed on the land and became the panther and the snake. This is the same thing that's going on with the body, but don't nobody know their story. This is science. This shit is very simple.
So I know there's another animal over in Africa that's related to the dolphin that stayed on land too. Does that mean like y'all related to them too?
It depends which animal.
The hippo.
We have a relation. All carnivores have the same grandparent. All carnivores have the same grandparent. It just depends on what time that separation was. This is the Family Feud. The title makes sense, right? It's making sense now. Everything that eats some shit come from some shit that ate some shit. This is why they always trying to eat each other. So look up when the jaguar, or look up when uh certain, or look up when the well, how do you say it? The sauropods or the cerapsids, excuse me, became hippos. They're mammals. But the original mammals were reptile-like, and then they split into two separate groups, ones that became actual mammals and those that became reptiles of today. This is the story that was, I don't know if you was on earlier, but when I was building earlier, I was talking about, I basically gave a timeline from their time say about 375 million years ago, that these beings became to come from the water and began to become something else and split into these different groups. So yes, we have a relation, just like the American lion that's considered extinct today is the grandfather to the Panthera leo. There's a relation. But the modern jaguar is not considered a descendant of the American lion, but they're considered cousins because they have an ancient grandparent. But that's not his direct descendant. The cheetah is related to the puma or the cougar, which they consider extinct, but that same animal they consider extinct has grandchildren that are still alive and living in the same place grandma's originally from. So again, all carnivores are somehow related. This is the dance that separated the bear and the jaguar, or the dogs from the cats and the cats from the dogs. All of
Right.
this
That's why
is
some tribes was practicing cannibalism and some wasn't.
and some were not. Some people, most of their diet was meat, some wasn't. It was the spirit, the family feud. Yeah, bear, you a ruler, but you can't rule in the South. You got to rule in the woods. But it's pine in the South. Well, we know who run the pine land. You got to go to the north. Okay. Well, when you come to the north, you got to live in the mountains. The family feud. These are ancient battles or ancient relationships that existed before our time today, which is why I say, yeah, we exist. We always existed, just in different forms. So do we come from monkeys? Some people do come from fucking monkeys. I don't. You may not, but some do.
What you just said earlier about you got to live in the mountains if you come to the north, that just made me think of something.
Talk to me.
I'll text you. I ain't gonna say it on here.
Say less. Just hit my phone. But what's going on is when we understand, when we start to understand the system or the clan system, we have to understand that a lot of this is modern. So we take it to the ancient world and people become closer than what you think they are or people have similar ancestor or ancestral deities. And you're like, wait, it all makes sense. Why is it called a water panther, but it's a snake with horns and wings? Or why is it called a thunderbird when the thunderbird should be the eagle? And niggas look at you like, huh? The fuck this nigga talking about? Thunderbird, an eagle? Oh nah, man, your blood ain't ancient enough. You know what that really is?
Mm.
You ever seen a bird so big that motherfucker gotta run to take off? And he just cruising 20 miles, 15 miles, 10 miles, just looking down, just like, who the fuck I'm gonna get today? It's ancient. And when he dropped down from the sky and tuck his wings, and he got a long ass fucking neck, and it's so agile in the sky that it moves like a snake, somebody or something seeing it would say that that is a flying serpent. But you will let someone tell you this don't exist. It did nothing but modernize itself. So you get amongst these things and you get amongst this and you start to learn about all these breakoffs and you then learn about the tie-ins, you can start see why you have certain conflicts in your family with family members that may be of another family. Yeah, you my cousin, but you my uncle's son. You my mama brother's son. So spiritually, you slightly different. You still my cousin, but you not clan. You not blood. But we one and the same. That's a separation in there. Now somebody will say, well, looking at the separation is wrong. But looking at the separation puts you in your rightful place. Today, this is why you have to walk it back. And when you walk it back, you see why there was the feud. What changed that made us bump heads? What changed that made me predator and you prey? What did you do in the past that made me predator and you prey?
And what made one,
Or
and what
apex
made,
predator?
and what made one venomous and one non-venomous?
What made one venomous, one not venomous? What gave one real canines or big fang teeth and those that didn't? Why did some have spots, some don't, some have stripes? Why do some live in the jungle, some live in the savannah, some live in the desert? But we all got the same grandma. But if you bring your ass over here, you're not gonna survive. I take my stupid ass over there, I'm gonna die out. This is what people have to look at within the clan system. Because, yeah, you see bird family. Yeah, you see toad family. But what are the true operations of the birds within this family? What are the true operations of the toad and the frog within this family and the different toads and frogs in the family? What about the turtle family? Because the turtle family, you seem kind of slow, but you really fast on your flippers. And you get mean the closer I get to the bayou. So what is the difference? Why did these turtles go this way and these turtles went that way and they look completely different? Why is
They got
this? Why?
yeah.
Come on. Why is this Squirtle? Here we go, Pokemon. Why is this Squirtle and that war turtle? Let's talk about it. What happened in the spirit of the family that caused the family to change? What happened into the environment of the families when they did depart from each other from that 0 point reference that caused the spirit to either force a change or just cause them to have to change? The Family Feud, the hyena and the lion, cousins. People think the hyena is a dog. The hyena is a leaper. It's a cat. The Family Feud. Why do other birds treat the pigeon so bad when the pigeon has no natural defense? We finna go get him. Fuck him. He finna fight back anyway. Family Feud. What happened in the spirit that caused these birds to actually lose the fight in them? They don't even fight no more. What happened? That's what I be on. That's what we going with this. This is how you truly understand who you dealing with. What happened in the ancient world that caused so much confusion? Why don't people that don't sit right with my spirit? All of that goes along with the class system. Let's see. So I'll do another 30. Let me do a reset. If y'all could mute up for me, I'm finna let my cousin Little Well play. I do want to give a shout out to Little Well for the song. She did approve of me using it on my YouTube. And she said something in the song like when she it's not the reaching out her hands to feel the four winds that turn the wheel. No, no, no. When she said, how many times do I have to take it back? And she say I peeled it back, but still the layers stay intact. I tell you the same story over and over and over, just from different time periods. And you ever notice that it's the same story? Interesting. But let me take this 5 minutes up. You can mute up for me, and then I'll be back on. Y'all get your water, get your snacks and all that stuff. Go use the bathroom. We'll be right back.
Following the sound of wings under these cedar canopies, exhaling the trees, they ring their echo to a silver stream. I turn my eyes into windows to wildflowers, white and black holes. Turn my eyes into windows to wildflowers, white and black holes. Letting it fall together. I'm letting go for once forever. Following this map under father sky is open heart. are. Golden hair responding to the lightning whisper to the stars. I turn my eyes into windows to wildflowers, white and black holes. The light meeting in my middle, between two worlds, the pattern move. A pattern grows into a map. How many times I take this path, woven with the vine, walking the red road alive. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Flash of light and open sky, awareness seeing eye to eye. A quilt holding the silence of 1,000 rays streaming through time. I reach out my hand to feel the four winds that turn the wheel. The light meeting in my middle, between two worlds, the pattern move. A pattern grows into a map. How many times I take this path, how many times I peel it back. Still the story stays intact. Free my heart of hearts. Mystery of love, don't go, she love. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Jackie, I be the Maya. Feel my head, feel my head, feel my head. Feel my head, feel my head, feel my
Welcome back. Welcome back. So this is gonna be part two of today's session. Part one, we went over the Family Feud. The Family Feud, we talked about cats and snakes, and other things, right? We got into a free bill. This bill is also going to be a free bill, but I do have my notes outside. I don't think I did too many bills on the uprising. So while I do have some notes out here, I know a lot of people want to know about the Wale uprising. What is the Wale uprising? When did it take place? What truly was going on? Some people say, hey, the Wale uprising was because, um, oh wow, peace, what's going on, fam? That song is called The Quilt by Little Will. Little Will has a lot of great music, especially Tejedora Cosmica. That's one of my favorite. But let's see, back to it. So what is the Wale uprising? Why was it called that? Who fought in the war? What was the cause? How did how did they allow this to happen? And this story, after I go through this, we could hop into the bill of everyone listening. Please take notes or ask questions. Dub, I'm glad you like that song too, man. I ain't gonna lie, I fell in love with it the first time I heard it myself. Um, but out from before I get into the notes, what's usually told about the Wale uprising is the Wale fired off on the Spanish because one of their chiefs was told that he couldn't have two wives because he was Christian. Now, I'm going to tell you that's the furthest from the truth. Um, there was a political war going on with the traditionalists and the Christians, and you have folks that were aiding in the war, right? Doing what they do now, sending arms to certain groups, making sure certain groups stayed ahead. So we'll talk about this. It's titled the Wale Uprising, the Spanish Deception, and the Fall of Iba'a Sovereignty. The introduction is so the Wale Uprising started in 1597. This is the last one. There were uprisings in 1526, 1530, 1550. Every decade leading up to this, there were uprisings. But this was a part of a larger Spanish strategy to dismantle the sovereignty of the Iba'a or Wale people. The Spanish used deception, betrayal, and manipulation to turn indigenous groups against each other, eliminate legitimate leaders, and replace them with puppet rulers who serve colonial interests. The Spanish controlled narrative describes the uprising as a reaction to religious restrictions, but in truth, it was a calculated effort to justify military retaliation, assassinate key Iba'a leaders, and weaken resistance. Beyond military conquest, the Spanish attacked Iba'a identity itself. They demonized traditional Wale beliefs, equating our Mikus with devils, and sought to erase our governance, replacing it with those who would submit to their rule. Even after our leaders were slain, others sought to claim what was ours. Some Makoma individuals skilled in Spanish wrote letters to Spain, falsely presenting themselves as the voice of the Iba'a to secure favor. This, along with the Spanish installation of false chiefs, was meant to erase our leadership and replace it with one loyal foreign ruler. The Spanish rules. So creating an excuse for control. Mic check, mic check. Let me do that first. Can y'all hear me? Let's see if y'all can hear me. Let's see, let's see.
Yeah, loud and clear, nephew.
Oh, perfect. I'm good. All right, I'll continue. So the Spanish account of the uprising centers on Don Juanito or Don Juanillo, right? Heir to a paramount of Ptolemato, claiming he rebelled because the Francians forbade polygamy. This claim was a fabrication used to mask the Spanish interference in Iba'a governance. The friars were not just missionaries, they were political tools used to undermine our traditional authority. By openly disrespecting our leaders and attempting to control the initial affairs, the Spanish sought to provoke a response that would justify their crackdown on Iba'a sovereignty. Hold on, who is this? Okay, let me let Unc back in. All right, I'm gonna have to drop one of them, man. Let one of them back in. All right. So when our warriors removed the friars who had insulted our leadership, the Spanish seized the opportunity to label us as enemies to their faith. But faith had nothing to do with it. So when the war was kicked off, the only way that Spain could get their hands in the war is by writing the crown and saying, "Hey, they going against Christ. We need y'all help." And with that help, they were giving power to other groups of indigenous people to take down the nation. So again, it was all about power, their attempt to dictate who could rule and how our people could live. The Spanish governor did not speak or seek justice for the friars. He sought the destruction of Iba'a leadership. And this is Mendez de Canzu, the burning of the towns and slaughtering of our leaders. After the uprising, the Spanish violence turned open. Let's see. They did not come for battle, they came for execution. Their forces, along with native allies who had been bribed or coerced, targeted our strongest leaders and warriors. Don Juanillo was among them, or those who was hunted down and slain. His scalp was taken as proof of Spanish dominance. Others were captured, interrogated, and others were executed or forced into servitude under Spanish rule. Entire villages were burned to the ground as Spanish soldiers carried out a systematic campaign of destruction. Governor Conzo led an 11-day campaign from October 27th to November 6, 1597, attacking Iba'a towns one by one. Aspo, Sapala, Tolomoto, Tupiqui, Wale, Asau, they were either burned completely or had their council houses, maize stores, and sacred spaces destroyed. But killing the leaders was not enough. The Spanish needed to ensure that no one with true authority remained. They installed men who had no right to lead, puppets who would obey Spanish rule rather than uphold the will of our people. The Ibar governance system, built on generations of wisdom, was replaced with a structure designed to keep us weak and divided. The demonization of the Iba'a people. The Spanish sought not only to conquer our lands, but also to destroy our spirit. They called our ways evil, our leaders demons, and our ceremonies the work of the enemy. To justify their massacres, they painted our ancestors as demons in need of salvation. Our strength, our warriors, our leaders, all were cast as objects to their holy faith or their holy mission of control. This demonization served two purposes. It justified the killings of the Mikus or the Gasikas. And if we were seen as devils, then our deaths were not only acceptable, but were necessary. And two, it justified replacing, bless you, baby. It justified the replacing of our leaders with their own, which they could claim had saved our people by removing those who held on to our tradition. By 1601, the Spanish had not only killed many of our rightful Mikus, but had also raised up traitors such as Don Domingo of Asau, who helped wipe out the last remnants of the independent Wale people or Iba'a people. So the role of Makoma, let's talk about Makoma. The Makoma speaking individuals saw opportunity to gain power. These Makoma who had learned Spanish and had closer ties to the friars wrote letters to Spain claiming to represent the Iba'a. They represented themselves as loyal subjects, hoping to secure favor and leadership positions over lands that were never theirs. These requests were also denied by the crown, as the Spanish understood the difference between the Iba'a and the Makoma. The Spanish, eager to complete their control over our people, they listened in some instances. They allowed the Makoma to assert themselves in our affairs, using them for further justification for dismantling the Iba'a government. So they have chiefs like, or there's a chief from what is the town? Is it Poke? I can't remember the name of the town that the uh Portuba. If I'm not, it's or Portuba or Portaruba, something like that. But it's a Makoma town where their leader kept using the friars to try to make him the big chief of the Wale or the Iba'a so he could make the decisions for those people. So the future of the Iba'a, though the Spanish sought to erase us, they could not destroy what was eternal. The Iba'a are not just a people, they are a way, a spirit, a force that cannot be broken by betrayal or conquest. The Spanish burned our villages, but they did not burn our knowledge. They killed our leaders, but they did not kill our inheritance. They placed false rulers over us, but those men still did not speak for us. Even as others wrote to Spain begging for power, they knew that true authority does not come from a foreign king. It comes from the land, from the blood of our ancestors, and from our mothers who carried our lineage forward. The Makoma could write all they wished, but their words did not make them Iba'a. The Spanish could instill puppets, but our families did not follow them. So, with that being said, the Wale uprising wasn't because a leader couldn't have two wives. It was because he was tired of the Spanish encroaching on his land. He was a Christian, yes, but he had to fight traditionalists from selling the land in this instance. And these towns that were Christian, they still existed in the 1700s. And the traditional towns eventually merged with other groups and start calling themselves something else. Those traditionalists that lived amongst the Christians were usually confused with the Christians in English documents because the English start calling everybody the same name for the same reason the Spanish did it, their own political purpose. So the English stopped using Iba'a, they stopped using Wale and say, we're going to call them Yamasi and say the Iba'a no longer exists because a majority of them went towards this group. So now the land is vacant. We're going to create a reservation for these particular groups, and we're going to have them be our border or our defenders from those that try to cross into these lands, which we remove or consider dead to the original people.
Nephew,
Talk to me.
we see how the Spanish and the English in them did it. Even cousin L said, if you was at amity with the Spanish crown, the French crown, and the British crown, you was deemed extinct.
You were dead. Facts.
You was considered as dead. They
Facts.
know we not dead.
Yep.
We had too much fucking going on, you know. And when people them talking about, oh, they gave them smallpox and everything, and I'm saying to myself, these motherfuckers didn't have this shit contained. So if we had smallpox or chickenpox or measles, them motherfuckers had it too.
Right. Now, this is what's interesting. This is what's definitely interesting. Hold on, let's see. It says, yeah, cuz click the link. I sent it to you. Yamasi and Wale are family. Yamasi and Wale are family. That's a strong statement because the Yamasi and Wale, certain groups became family. The issue that was always had is the name Wale was always mashed with the Yamasi, and their stories are always told as one. I can have a cousin who has a completely different story than me, and it's not my right to superimpose my story or my name on his story. So we definitely are family. And we've been family for thousands of years. This goes back to the Swift Creek era. Read the Green Fire. We explain all of the groups that came in, the Yamasi, they came with corn and not only maize, excuse me, but they came with a ceremony that was able to stop people from trying to come down on the Wale. Though the original Wale, or those who became the Wale, the Iba'a, didn't accept the ceremony, they still were excited and allowed those people in for giving the Lenape a ceremony to stop them from eating motherfuckers. So we thank the Yama every day for for civilizing the Lenape.
Right.
We thank them every day for civilizing the Lenape.
Yeah,
Now,
because they
Unc, you
was eating
said,
raw
go ahead, talk to me.
because they was eating raw flesh.
Fact, they was eating grandpa. They was
Yeah.
burying grandpa and digging them up and eating them. Crazy
Right.
shit.
Right.
But you said something important. We're going to talk about the aftermath of the Yamasi War. And here are a few points I have. The enslavement and reclassification of the Wale and the Yamasi. Thousands of indigenous people were captured and sold into slavery and sent to the Caribs. But you have survivors that were in British territory. Survivors in British territories were reclassified as Negroes. So when this happens, you now have an emergence of new identities that the people created themselves, which were the true ancient names of the people who fought in the Yamasi War. The Gullah, the Wali, and the Geechee, the Ogeechee, or the Hogalugi. So the family ties continued into the 1800s, and they still were traditional because the people named it what? Themselves. Negro Seminole is somebody else speaking. Yamasi is somebody else speaking. But when the people recreated the confederacies of the Iba'a and the Yama, and they turned it Gullah Geechee, and the cracker said, nah, the Negro Seminoles, they were subjugating that name. Again, playing with what? The identity of the people, reclassifying them. Because if you Gullah or you Geechee, you got autonomy. But if you're a Negro Seminole, you still fall under the category of what? A nigger runaway is how Englishman would say it. So when we think about the uprisings and we think about the Yamasi War, you have to consider that in the 1500s, 1600s, and 1700s, before you get a United States corporation, people were already being reclassified and misclassified in their documents. Spanish and Castilian and English. Lies were being told to create certain wars. Puppet governments were being put in place to be in control over Iba'a affairs. This is why it was said, hey, yeah, you could be Wale, but are you really Iba'a? Do you know why the Iba'a have a problem with authority? It's because everybody always try to speak for them when they spoke as a collective. And when they came amongst the Yama, who had better speech than them, meaning they dealt more, they were men, they were traders, men that did business. This is what people also have to understand when they talk about this. The Yama were traders. It literally means those who trade, the companions, those who oblige or say yes, those who are gentle, those who, this is literally what it means. So it's a group of men that were mating with different groups of women. And the women that came over here are the ones who held on to those traditions. So you could be Yama and be Yamasi, but not be Wale. But you can be Wale and just be Wale, but you have a Yama father because our systems were different until there was emergence. And when those particular towns or particular people merged, they still separated themselves based on their culture. This is why the Wale were in their homelands, Potocaligo, Uspa or Ospo, Tolamato, Tupiqui. All of these are Wale people. But the Tama, Altamaha, Ochisi, Okate, all of those are the original Hichiti speakers. So today, you'll ask, well, what about the Confederacy? And we say no, because it's out of order. The Wale supposed to be in the north. Where's the families in the north? Or the Iba'a in the north? Well, we moved with them, so no, that's not how we did it. Every family had a voice. So though we understand what different people have going on, we still have a problem with authority today. Suck our dick. Everybody tried to speak for us. And when everybody speak for us, we become other than what we say we are. Every time somebody speak for us, they put us in a place that we that they put us out of place. They put us out of bounds. It's always the Yamasi, the Wale, or those who don't know about the Wale, like those who are just finding out, or the Iba'a, or the Geechees. People thought they were one and the same until they did the bone work. So the scientists said, we got to let the bones speak. Look up, let the bones speak. The Wale uprising, what happened? Oh, they wanted to fight because they couldn't have more than one wife. Sounds stupid as fuck. We want to fight because you tried to replace us with a group of people that didn't belong. And then when you tried to come down, not you, the Englishmen came down on the Yamasi with the Westo. After we whooped the Westo ass, they then come down on the Yamasi with the Westo. And the Westo run to the Wale, and the Wale jump on the Westo ass again. And then fight the Spanish. So we fight in the English in the north and the Spanish, while the Spanish are trying to use us to hold off the English on the coast. It's so much going on. And then you're replacing the chiefs and the leaders with other people so they can do business for you. Does this not sound familiar? You niggas can't go to court without somebody representing you. Uh-oh. Does not sound familiar. You lost in your identity because they've been doing this shit and replacing you with motherfuckers who ain't belong. And then giving somebody your name and calling you by or calling them by your name, and they get all the benefits to some shit that your people were removed from. And while this is going on, your people are on the plantations, your people are in the jungle fighting, and still resurrected the ancient name of that river, Tagora Hogalugi, or Tagula Hogalugi, the Gullah Geechee. What knowledge, like Pa said, if we not who we say we are, what knowledge that them people have to resurrect an ancient name in the time of war? The reason they didn't say the Wale were fighting them again is because they been said the Wale died in 1650. If they would have said the Wale jumped on their ass in 1715, the people would have had a problem with the fucking crown. That's the fact of the matter. That's how the Wale or the Iba'a were the majority in the Confederacy, but still going under the Spanish term Inmasis, which became Yamasi, but was a branch of the Itza term Yama, which we trace back to a people who came in and gave it to them, but their name was Atakata. Do you see how the name is changing? Two different groups of people who eventually, some of them became family. But if we say they all became family, what we'll do is exactly what the Spanish attempted to do. Give everything that's rightfully yours to a group of people when only a few of them were there. Who's going to tell the story the right way? And I'm not speaking from my side. Who's going to tell the story the right way? We got two screens for you. I got to drop one. Who's going to tell the story the right way? Who's going to explain that the Lenape women didn't know what they were doing until those women came out of South America and Central America, the Yama women, and had to teach them, like, baby, you know, this how you plant shit, baby. You don't got to eat meat your whole life. Baby, let me put some beans with this food. You tripping. Come on, you need to eat. Girl, you only 4'3". For real, this is what the Yama did for them people.
You need to put some meat on the bones.
You need to put, yeah, you need to put some meat on them bones.
You little Euro
So
Asian frame. You so
yeah,
tiny. Look at you.
what? Look, age yourself. So so this is why they call the Yama the grandmother people, because the Yama were they when they were good, they were good. But that base group, that Ichisi, the Okoni, those are your base groups. Once they started to deal with everybody and their cousins came over, they cousin said, man, fuck that. Y'all giving away all the ceremonies. Y'all giving away all the food. Why y'all ain't help us out? That's when shit really changed. The mounds over here got bigger. They say, hey, we could teach y'all boys how to put shit under y'all mounds right now. That way y'all ain't got to destroy them, and that should have raised the whole mound up. Niggas say, what? Nigga, we on the coast, nigga. We can't put nothing that heavy in this sand. Nah. Check me out, cuz if you heat the sand like this, and if you mix that with it, that's what we do with our pottery. Yeah, nigga, you could make a brick, and you could just say, fuck it. You could stack the bricks, but it got to be over here, over here, over here. Oh, say less, cousin. We finna do that right now. Read The Green Fire. Read my book. My book is only $25 on Amazon right now, $30 for the hard copy. I have a whole
And that's why
chapter dedicated. But hold on, I have a whole chapter dedicated to how the Wali and the Yamasi came together to build a big ass union that stretched from South America to fucking Canada. My bad. Talk to me.
that's what they don't understand because they keep on calling it a pyramid and it's not a pyramid because that is the same materials that we used down there in South America to make the mound of the sun. They keep on talking about the pyramid of the sun. It's not the pyramid of the sun. It's the mound of the sun. And Cahokia is made in that same. Well, Cahokia was actually made like that before the temple of the sun. You
Yup.
know, that's what they fail to realize. They keep on talking about that's a monolithic stone. No, that's not a monolithic stone, and here's the reason why. Because you cannot put a stone structure in a swampy area.
Hold on. What you say?
You cannot take a stone, you can't take a stone monolithic structure and put it in the swamps. Look what happened with the basalt heads. What happened to them heads? It's something in the swamp, right? You can hear me, nephew?
Say it again.
I said that you cannot put a monolithic stone structure in the swamp because it will sink. And what shows you that it will sink because the basalt heads that they put that's in South America, they wind up sinking.
Yeah. Which one?
You heard me, nephew?
Yeah, I heard you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like certain things are made a certain way. The coastal Iba'a built with shell. So that's where all the shell rings and all of that shit come from the coastal piece. When you you can build heavier structure, but that interior has to be dry pine land. When we doing, if that's doing that in the forest or in the swamp, you gotta pump that water out. Niggas here wasn't
Right.
pumping shit out because hey, you better put that canoe in that water and get where you're going.
Right.
Some people need that. That was the science of the Maya or the Maya. Flop it is properly Yama, right? That was the science. They said, hold on. Our daddies came across the water and taught us some shit. Because if you telling the story properly, everybody daddies was getting smoked. Because when them niggas came across the water on them big ass ships, they fathered the Yama because they were killing off the men down there in Central South America and mixing in with the women. And they were building big shit. And they say, hey, we gonna have babies with y'all and teach y'all how to build some big shit down here. And then when y'all build that big shit, we gonna teach you how to change the waterways. So now you can plant your food on top of the water because we finna pump the water from this area and all of that gonna be the land. And then we gonna use this to wash out all the bullshit so y'all don't got so whoop, whoop. So now we got a sewage system. And since y'all got a sewage system and y'all got that y'all cousins who taught y'all to use these crystals, vibrate them to create different lights. Now you got, you good. So the Yama were no different, were not too much different from the Nubians and not too much different from the Egyptians and the Sumerians and all these different cultures because they had a science that they hid within their ceremonies. Nobody want to talk about this shit. Niggas hate Freemasonry but don't want to talk about the master builders. I don't know. Maybe I said too much. Too crazy. Too crazy. Too crazy. Peace, Auntie. Happy birthday. Hold on. I'm gonna put home right now. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to me. Gratitude, gratitude. Hey,
Ray
look,
said happy birthday.
tell her I thank you, honey. Gratitude, gratitude, skis. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
This shit's gonna be so good. We got to fight the squirrels off. I need a BB gun pump the ass.
We're
Speaking
not
of
harming
fruit,
squirrels. What did the squirrels do to you?
they messing with my mangoes. So you know what that
Oh,
means? That man gotta go.
listen. Technically, those are not your mangoes. They actually
Shit
belong to
me.
them.
No, they
Okay.
don't. I call dibs.
Do
I
not,
call
do not.
dibs.
But you gonna I just see. You might be shooting one of my baby cousins.
Hey,
Cause you know I
hey,
feed my
what?
squirrels.
Now watch this. Watch this, Auntie. What was the title of the video? The Family Feud. They deserve. Uh-huh. They wanna jump around and all that. Okay.
Okay, well just let me know if you do, so I can apologize to my babies that I feed. Okay, so I just be like, I apologize, sorry for him. He didn't mean no harm. We'll make it up to y'all. Okay, just eat some more nuts. You'll be fine. Okay.
Heck no. But yeah,
What's
what
all?
I was talking about, I don't know.
Mhm.
The first half of the video, I went over how our family and cat family, our family, tell us the cat family, our family and snake family related. So I went through the evolution of our ancestor that came from the water and then became, how it broke down into everything. Then we went into a free bill. that note, I deleted all my notes out the phone once I printed them. But when
Mm.
I send everything, I send them with you because my mama hit me and told me she needed it. So I got notes on out here right now. I got the Teligui and the Talaguali that war. Remember we talked about the Lenape War, Snake and Cat family. Went over the different cats. Went over the Wale uprising. Went over parts of the Yamasi War. I didn't go over any of the Muskogee stuff. I'll do that tomorrow. So yes, quarter pounder. They got the ices back. The blue. I want the blue. Yep. I'm about to eat me some nuclear waste today at good McDonald's. But yeah, so that's basically what we was talking about. The Family Feud. Then I was, going over why certain spirits and certain families don't mix, or certain people and certain families don't mix. That's all a part of that revolutionary stage of of becoming something different, basically. So that's basically what the bill was about. Let's see. All right, all right. Let's see. We got no questions. Reese, do you have any questions that I can answer for you, doggy? I'll get them out the way and then I'll hop off because I'm finna hop on Call of Duty.
I can't think of nothing right now.
All right, bet. Send me that. No, send me that too. Let me know what you were talking about. Matter of fact, just hit my phone. I just hop on the phone. Cause I'm about to play the game and shit, so I ain't gonna be texting. It's Saturday.
I got you.
All right. Let's see. Pa, you can hit me up. You still there? You say what, babe? Oh, all right. So that's it. I'll be on tomorrow morning. You work tomorrow? You don't go in tomorrow? Okay, so yeah, I'll be on tomorrow morning at 10. I'll be on tomorrow morning at 10. The subject, we gonna go over the Yamasi War. I'm gonna talk about the role of the Wale in the war. Um, the different Mikus, those who did business with the Spanish, and those who were enslaving other Wale and Yama people who were against the bullshit. I'm gonna expose all of those chiefs too. So you're gonna get names, you're gonna get all of that different stuff because it wasn't just one group doing something. You had people that were Wale or that were Wale because they were no longer Iba'a, but they were Wale and they were doing their own thing. They were listening to other people's leadership, whether it be other tribal leaders' leadership or even the Spanish or the English, and they used those relationships to put themselves above the other people that were doing it the right way. So we just want to give um just put some clarity there, show who was who and who was doing what. All of you that stayed
Birthday
and
to
listened.
you.
Oh, oh
Happy
yeah.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you.
Hey, happy birthday to me. Hey, Chief Paul, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm on the bill. I'm on the bill.
You gonna be oh duh. I, I
Them
appreciate
people, them
that.
people
I
be going lit.
appreciate that. Hey, Reese, how you doing today, Reese?
I'm doing good. I'm stuck in the house all day.
Good.
It's thunderstorming all day today.
Really? Where you live at?
Hey man, y'all
It's
seen
like we
that
got a.
tornado? You
Where you
They,
say?
seen
I ain't heard nothing
it?
about a tornado, but they saying we got
Man,
tornado
the
watch.
tornado was so man, there was a tornado last night. That motherfucker, bro. Them people say that shit was man, that shit like size of a football field, man. Y'all gotta go look it up. Like it was dark
Whoa!
and like all you man, that shit was crazy. It was a crazy ass tornado
Wow!
last night. And that bitch broke into two. Like, yeah, that shit was like Twister. That bitch split into two on the ass.
can't see me up
Wow.
here right now, so all I'll be hearing is these little sirens and a bunch of hail and rain going on.
Yeah, just stay your little tail in the house. Stay your butt on in the house. It ain't safe to go out there. Mm-mm. Well, all right, let y'all go. Reese, tell your mama I said hello and I sent her love. We
All
haven't
right,
had a
bro.
chance to talk yet, but that's coming soon. Till I said hello.
And then by them destroying some of the mounds, that's why you got weather change.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Sound about right. That sound about right. Um, well, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Okay.
Hey, you can email, not email, but send me some ice cream by FedEx, by way of FedEx. Yes, you hear me?
Who you
Hold
speaking
on, y'all.
to?
My bad. I had to go. Can I change this? But I'm about to get her food to the cats.
I'm trying to get some birthday
It's
cake and
that
ice
time.
cream delivered by
Sac-
FedEx.
Sacrifice.
Smoking.
Say what, babe? They back up. You try to be gone all the time. All right, everybody. Love y'all. I'll be on tomorrow
Good.
early.
All
Good.
right.
Let me
Good.
start
Good.
setting up.
All right, honey.